Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and we're still looking at Edge of Eternity's commanders, even though the full set's not spoiled yet, and I'm a fair way in the future as I record this one. But I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. The next couple of weeks is going to be a few disruptions to covering Edge of Eternity's commanders, purely because I go on holiday in a couple of days' time, and I'm away for a fortnight. So I've recorded a lot of videos in advance that are going to be coming up over the next couple of weeks. I will try to find some time to do some extra Edge of Eternity ones, so there'll be some muddled in over the next few weeks while I'm away. But as soon as I get back from my holiday, I'll be back on Edge of Eternity. So please bear with me. Please carry on watching the channel. Obviously, for obvious reasons, there'll be no streams. So as soon as I get back, the first stream I do when I get back will be the traditional draft that we do when a new set hits MTGO, and then we'll move back into doing all the Commander stuff, playing Commander games on stream, getting the videos out, so on and so forth. So all I can ask is please bear with me. There will be one random one a day after I come back, so I've done that now in advance, so it's there, so I have something going up on the day, the Monday I travel back on, and then the rest of that time that week I'll be spending trying to catch up with the Edge of Eternity's commanders. So bear with me. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, I need a holiday every so often. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Here we go. Here's what we're looking at today, and you're all here because one of the cards that's been spoiled recently as I'm getting ready for all these videos is Sami, Wildcat Captain. 4 red and white for a 4/4 legendary creature, human artificer rogue. Has double strike and vigilance, but, and this is the big but, spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. Yeah, that's quite major in my mind, because we all know Boris loves artifacts, usually equipment, and I'm going to be really 100% honest now. This starting deck I've done today is absolutely no different to that. I've gone very much for the equipment theme because everything has affinity. Once you get Sami in play, has affinity for artifacts, and it seems like a no-brainer to have all the equipment in play. So if you've got 2 or 3 artifacts in play, most of the artifact equipment's coming in for free, which leaves your mana available to equip it and get on with attacking things. So here we go. Here's how I've built Sami to start off with. Again, bear with me. This is a new, I'm recording this well in advance of the full set being spoiled, so there may be some things that I haven't picked up on yet. Again, there'll be some update videos later on this year with the things I've covered so far, going through the changes I've made to the deck. So here we go. Enjoy this one. So to start with, 19 creatures in the deck. There's a reason for this, which is low counting, but we'll start with Esper Sentinel because it's an artifact, so it helps with our affinity for artifacts. Auroch Steel Shapers in, cut the cost of our equip costs down, and then, you know, as long as it's equipped, soldiers and knights we control get +1/+1, but it's just here to cut the equip cost down, in all honesty. Cloud comes in from Final Fantasy Land to go and search out our equipment, and then obviously we get the extra triggers, all well and good. Pure Steel Paladins here, so we can have the equip cost of 0, because we should have more than 3 artifacts in play quite quickly to do the metalcraft side of it. And the card draw's nice as well. Same with Saram Senior Edificer. That's the reason we have it here, card draw. Acclaimed Contender is another one that lets us go and find an equipment when we look at the top 5 cards of our library and then put it in our hand, the rest on the bottom of our library. And Brass Squire is just another way of cheating the equip costs of creatures as we go through the game. Neatly, this can be done at instant speed, so it's even better. Danith Caspian Paragons here, cuts the cost of the spells down as well, although the affinity side of it probably makes this hopefully irrelevant, but just in case, it's here. Fire On, Wild Rose Warrior comes in from Forgotten Realms as well. Forgotten Realms? No, let's try that game. Final Fantasy. Gives all our equipped creatures haste, and then non-token equipment you control enters, you get a copy of it, except its equipped cost is dropped by 2, and you get to sacrifice at the beginning of your next upkeep. There's some things that we still have in play with this happening. Astor, Bearer of Blaze, comes in just so we can go and find our equipment, and then means all our equipment costs 1 to equip if we haven't got any other way of cheating it. Like Brunel Battlehammer, pumps all our creatures up and makes our first equip cost each turn 0. Weapons Vendor, also from Final Fantasy, comes in because I don't mind paying 1 for equipment if we do, and we get to move it around if we need to, and it does draw cards, so it does kind of like cantrip itself for 4 mana, so it's pretty strong. Cloud Planet's Champion also comes in from Final Fantasy Land. Equipped abilities you target, Cloud costs 2 less to activate, and as long as it's equipped has double strike and indestructible, which is a really good beta to have for us. Evil, the Battle Ready, comes in from Assassin's Creed, Vigilance, Haste. When it attacks, it deals damage equal to the number of equipment you control to each opponent, which really does upset your opponents very quickly, believe me. Nahiri, Forged in Fury, makes an appearance as well from Aftermath. Affinity for equipment, and then whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile top card in your library, you may play that card this turn, and you may cast equipment spells without paying their mana costs. Yeah, okay then, happy with that. Frogmere Enforcer, just so we can have the whole prototype thing in. I like having this one come into play. 7/7, 7 mana for a 4/4, but you know the prototype's okay. But you can probably get this out for 1 mana for a 4/4, which is fine. And then Furnace Hellkite, so we can get this into play and have a big flying beater that we can give fire breathing to. Oxidea Finisher, an unusual one, I'll be honest, but affinity for equipment, which is nice, and it's a 7/5 Trampler. Most of the time with this deck, this should be costing you 2 or 3 mana, I would have thought. Well, no, I know it does. I've played it before. Yeah. Chizigora, Forged Tyrant, also makes an appearance. We get to do the whole attacking, exile top 5 cards of our library. You may cast an artifact spell from among them, and it has affinity for artifacts. Yeah, I've got no issues with that. From there, we have sorcery, Steel Shaper's Gift to go and find equipment if we need it, Wrath of God to control the board, Blasphemous Act to control the board, and Unfinished Business to bring back a creature that's been killed off with a couple of equipments attached to it from our graveyard if some have been destroyed. Not bad on my hand for 5 mana. I'll cope with that one. Instance, Magnetic Theft to do the automatic equipment attaching, Source of Plowshares for some control, Achroma's Faith so we can do the Alpha Strike, Lens Flare, because we have got affinities for artifacts, this will probably do 5 damage for 1 white mana most of the time, so it's nearly as good as Source of Plowshares. And then Plated Onslaught, a pump spell that has affinity for artifacts, and yeah, so 2 white mana should give all of your creatures +2/+1 most of the time when you're attacking, which may throw off combat maths for a lot of your opponents. Artifacts, well, we have some ramp with Tantalite, Talisman, the Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in if it goes pear-shaped. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and then we start with the equipment. Barbed Battle Fist, there's a lot of these in here. We've got most of the 4 Mirrodin cards in here, so this one's the +1/-1. Then we've got Dragoon's Lance from Final Fantasy to hit the whole knight and have an equipped creature during our turn we're flying, which is fine by me. Fellwell Stone for a little bit more ramp. Hex Gold, Halibrid comes in from Mirrodin. As long as it's our turn, equipped creature has first strike and trample, which is fine. You get the 2/2 with it as well, don't forget. Monk's Fist from Final Fantasy, just to have a cheap one that doesn't really do anything. It's generic mana, so I'm happy with that. Pearl Medallion to give us a bit of ramp for our white spells. Red Mage's Rapier comes in as well. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. We've got at least 33 non-creature spells with all the artifacts, so yay. Ruby Medallion cuts the cost down again. Thought Vessel for the extra ramp and keeping our hand size completely irrelevant. White Mage's Staff gives us some life when it attacks, and the +1/+1 is pretty useful as well. So this is a like 2/2 for 2 mana, which I'm happy with. And then some of the living weapons. Bitter Thorn, Nissa's Animus is here, so we can find the basic lands and put them into play tapped. Bladehold War Whip is also in from Mirrodin. Equip abilities you activate of other equipment cost 1 less to activate, and this gives the equipped creature double strike. Yeah, happy with that plan. Gold Warden's Helm's in. Just another from Mirrodin one that's just a little bit cheaper to put into play. Nettle Cyst comes in as well. Whenever equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control, can make something very big very quickly. Paladin's Arms from Final Fantasy, +2/+1, ward 1, and is a knight. 4 to equip, so it's not the cheapest one to equip, but if you're casting it for free, you might have the mana kicking around to do it with. Samurai's Katana, also from Final Fantasy, +2/+2, trample and haste to the equipped creature. Bone Horde comes in. Equipped creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Makes your creatures very big very quickly. Dancer's Chakrams from the Commander set of Final Fantasy. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has lifelink, and other commanders you control have +2/+2 and have lifelink. Yeah, okay then. Double striking. Yeah, good. Thank you. Hex Gold Hoverwing, is also in. Equipped creature has fly, and creatures you control that are equipped get +1/+0. Kemba's Banner is also in as well. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Vilshock Splitter, another for Mirrodin one, +2/+0, so you end up with a 4/2 for 4 mana for this. I like all these ones that come in with creatures attached to them. Makes the equipment a lot more playable, especially in Commander from my point of view, by the way. Especially if you can copy them with the card we were talking about earlier, and you still get to keep the token even if the equipment goes. Warrior Sword, another one, +3/+2 and as Warrior in judging to its office types. Battle Skull, and I know this is in Phyrexian, but it's just fun. Who doesn't like? I'll change it because I know people don't always like reading Phyrexian. Here you go, we'll do that one from the list. Yeah, but I quite like the artwork and the way it looked. It looked really nice in Phyrexian, but you need to know it's got +4/+4 vigilance and life leak, and you can bounce it back to your hand if you need to. But you all know what Battle Skull does. You've all been on the receiving end of it by now, I'd have thought. Dragonwing Glider, +2/+2 flying and haste for the equipped creature. Hexblade, Wall Breaker's also in. Whenever equipped creature attacks, if it's the first combat of this turn, untap each attacking creature and you get an additional combat step. This one tends to eat removal really quickly, but it's very good if you can keep it in play for a little while. Machinist Arsenal, also from Final Fantasy. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 for each artifact you control. Yeah, okay, thank you. Mirin Barashet is also in +2/+1 and Vigilance. Caldra Complete, because who doesn't like having Caldra Complete in play anyway. +5/+5, first strike, trample, indestructible, haste. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. If you can get this equipped to Sami, you're going to have a really good day. Believe me, you will do. From there, just the 3 enchantments in the deck. Blacksmith's Talent to get our little sword equipment when it comes into play, and then we can randomly attach things. Sigarda's Aid, so we can cast the equipment so it has flash and then basically make it auto equip. And Fighter's Class, so we can go and find out a bit of equipment and then cut the cost of our equip abilities down if we need it to do it that way. Lands, well, yeah, we've got some artifact lands in because they all help their artifacts. We've got Ancient Den in, and then the usual selection of red and white lands you'd expect to see. The Covian encampments here just give us some warrior tokens. Yes, we have to sacrifice them, but hey, it's 2 extra attackers. Darksteel Citadel's in, Elegant Powder, you know all this, and then the Great Furnace is also making an appearance just because there's another artifact land. Inventor's Fair, no brainer for the life gain. The Royal City's just coming for Final Fantasy, and some of the other dual lands that you don't always see. But Rustvale Bridge is very good. Another artifact land that's indestructible and taps for red or white. And that's really it. There's nothing particularly spectacular in the land base. So that is my take on Sami, the Wildcat Captain, as we go along and start off carrying on with the Edge of Eternity stuff. Yeah, I quite like this one as well, I have to say. I do like a good equipment deck every so often, and I think this one kind of does tweak that up quite nicely. But if you think this piece of equipment that's come out or has been spoiled since I recorded this video, please leave me a comment down below. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Help me improve my well, viewing audience so everyone out there gets to see a bit more of me and, you know, plays with the YouTube algorithm to help me out. I really do appreciate it. But as I said, I'm disappearing off on holiday in a couple of days, so keep your eyes open for some of the more random decks coming up next week. Like I say, there will be some Edge of Eternity things once I can sneak them in. But for now, thanks for watching, take care, and yeah, I'll see you live on stream when I'm back from my holiday. Have a good one. Bye.